Hello, everyone. I am Sarah from That Right Life, and this is a little bit of a update. It is November 14th. It's like halfway through November, and we're 2 weeks into NaNoWriMo, and I'm here to tell you I'm failing. I made plans in October for two different novels, and I had two situations of grief come up. My father died on November 3rd. After two really positive days, I had 8,000 words after 2 days, and that was, it wasn't exactly a shock because he had taken a fall in October, and so it was touch and go. Um, we weren't expecting him to die so soon because they thought he was going to get better and he was showing signs of getting better. So that happened, and with any grief, you tend to get inundated with everybody else's emotions and feelings on the topic. And for about 8 days, I didn't write. I could barely think. I was just going through the emotions, excuse me, of the day, you know, doing what had to be done and leaving a lot of things. Um, so I have a lot of things to catch up on, including my word count. And then just a few days ago, my cousin passed away. Um, now I didn't have a close relationship with either of them. With my father in particular, there was always a hope to have a rekindled relationship, to have the man that I once knew when I was, around the age of 11. Um, and the unfortunate part is that as you get older, as an adult, you start to become aware of other people's flaws. There comes a point where boundaries and your own peace of mind are more important. Your own growth, your own healing is more important than catering to someone else's whims. And that's how it was with my father. So a lot of the emotion and the grieving is that little girl inside of me who hoped that there would be a rekindling of a relationship, who hoped there would be a change in my father. And it was a false, it's a false want. It's a false fantasy. It's false in the sense that I can't change what someone else does. All I can do is change what I do and adjust what I do. And in order to protect myself, I walked away. I walked away as an adult. And it's a sad state, right? Because in writing, people, characters come back from some of the most worst traits. There's redemption in novels, and it's a falseness because most people can't be redeemed because they choose not to be redeemed. They choose not to work on themselves. They choose not to change. So I've struggled. I'm sitting at probably between 15 to 18K words, and we're 2 weeks in. I have 2 more weeks roughly, 16 more days. It's a lot of words. It's not uncommon. I don't have a problem getting words out. I'm just, I'm overwhelmed. And I keep telling myself it's okay. It's okay not to write. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to put this writing on the back burner, but I don't want to. I put it on the back burner so long. I let it be a second thought. I would put it away or stop exactly writing to talk to someone that needed my help, to adjust my wants for other people. And I don't want to. If that's selfish, I guess that's selfish. Anyway, today I spent a little bit of time at the library and couldn't focus on writing, so I just watched a few videos. And then I went to a local cafe called Winans Chocolate and Coffee. And this is not coffee, by the way. This is hot chocolate. I also purchased some dipped chocolates, sorted chocolates, and some cashew. What are they called? Cashew clusters. They have a weird name for them. What are they called? Wuzzles? Wordles. Milk cashew wordles. They're so buttery. They're really good. Funnily enough, the sorted chocolates can, like, so far they're not the best, but those cashew clusters, I know that it's a hard shift, right? I've been working on this video for the better part of an hour now, trying to get the right wording. Grief is individual, and the hardest part is that not only are you grieving for the person who died, you are grieving the person you were with that person. November is incredibly hard. October 31st to like January 15th for me is so hard because it's my thoughts shift to my mother. And now my father has died in it, my cousins died. I found out my uncle died in August. My cat died in November 2nd, 3 years ago. It's just a crappy time. I try to stay positive past my birthday, not just for myself, but for others. But then it's like a hard dive. The positive in this is that situations like this tend to bring out my poetry. It's because I write from the heart, I write about emotion with poetry. And while I do write emotion in my romance novels and such, it's a different type of emotion. It's something I could tap into, but it is not my direct emotions. And I look at poetry as a representation of my thoughts and my feelings and my hopes and dreams. So I've been working on that. Sunday I wrote probably like 3 or 4 poems and decided to go through my files and try to locate all of the poems that were ready or almost ready for a book. I didn't think I had that many, but apparently I have enough. Almost enough, I should say. And the funny thing is I've talked about this before. I have files on files on files. Each genre has a file. So poetry has a file. It has old poetry. It has my new poetry. It has the title of my next poetry book. And when I finish poems that I want in there, I put it in that folder. And then I have a whole host of unfinished poems that I started because the words had come to me and I didn't finish. The difficulty in that is that sometimes you can't figure out where you were going with the thoughts. But I've been lucky and been able to finish some, which have been put into the future book file, and I'm thinking I might have another poetry book before the end of the year. And with that, here in November, I think the 23rd or the 26th. I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up. I will be having one of my stories published in an anthology. I've mentioned it before. It is through Dublin Creative Writers, and it's called Untold Stories. And it is the story Rosalind von Drawn. It is about a woman who is trying to locate her mother, who happens to be a vampire. There's other short stories that are coming in my mind that I'm working on for this. That kind of, it's like the way that I want to do it is like little peeks into this story through short stories. So that's interesting. So those are the things that are coming up. I have the anthology that's going to be published sometime this month near the end. And I'm probably going to have my poetry book coming out before the end of the year, but no promises. I still am working on editing Into the Unknown, which is book 3 of Running Rampant. And if that weren't enough, I'm writing a new book called, wait, I don't have a title for this one. Lucas and Anya is the characters' names, and they're turning out really nice. That's my nano project. And if that weren't enough, I happen to be working on editing 'Tis the Season. Now, it has been nicely edited, in my opinion. However, there's things I'm changing about it, and I'm adding a few scenes because that's what came up in my mind as I was writing, things that would serve a purpose in the book. When I first wrote 'Tis the Season, it was longer, but I edited it down to be like 30,000 words because it just felt right. Given my experience now, I can see where that's a problem. Sorry if that affected the video. I got a text that kind of rattled everything. So those are the things I'm working on. Now, whether or not they will actually be accomplished fully before the end of the year, I don't know. That's my goals. 100% my goals. Oh, I got a lot of light coming in. It is shining off of the building. Let's see. Look at that beautiful sun. Oh yeah, right in the face. Okay, with this kind of light, earlier it wasn't so good. So the temperatures here have kind of evened out. It's nice, crisp days with all of the leaves mostly gone. That means we're probably going to get snow soonish. Although they did say it's probably El Nino this year here in central Ohio. Um, I don't have much in the way of plans beyond what I just mentioned. I'm working on getting some unfinished poetry done. There's small bits that I can maybe just focus on when I have the attention to do so. And editing. Into the Unknown needs a little bit more editing than I thought. The earlier bits, I've rearranged some of the chapters just for better flow, and they're in a way that fits the story. Whereas 'tis a season so far, I am not. Oh, what I did do though is read quite a bit. I had joined a book club through meetup.com, but it happened to coincide with not only Nano, but the death of my father, and I play World of Warcraft, so we're about to raid again. And so, yeah, I didn't get to join them for their October or their November meeting. They meet once a month. I did purchase the book, and I'm part of the way through it. I don't like it. I don't like it. It seems to be one character. So far, I'm literally like halfway through it. There's been no one else, no other thought process, just one character. It is in first person, which I mostly despise. I think I've talked about this before, but probably not on this channel. I don't like first person writing. Not because, like, how do I say this nicely? There are very few people that can do it well. To do it in a way that I can relate to. There's a character, or the Diana Gabaldon with Outlander. She does a phenomenal job with Claire. I think it's relatable. But some of these modern writings are just horrible. There's been one, I'm not going to mention the author's name, but she jumps first person into both characters, both male and female. So you, like, it's so abrupt. It's such an abrupt change, and I hate it. It is so, like, in my brain, I'm like, who published this? Like, if people can get published like this, why am I not attempting to get it published? Why am I not reaching out? It makes you wonder. And that sounds really bloated, like a bloated ego, sense of self, whatever you want to call it. But the reality is, I know somebody somewhere likes them. Clearly, a lot of people like them. But it makes me wonder, like, has that changed, that type of writing changed how people engage as readers now? Is that what they're expecting? Because I don't write like that. I write third person. Like, I just can't relate. And I know that's the one thing that makes first person attractive to readers, is that it allows you to relate to the characters. It puts you in that character's mind, but no, like, it doesn't. It just makes me want to put the book down and wish I'd never bought it. Editing Sarah here, I forgot to create an ending for this video, so please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. I will see you in my next video.